Good morning. This is Kathy Sipple, and this is day 4 of Birth of a Brand. Thank you to those of you who have shown up for various days this week and also in the past. I know we've got at least one new person who's here for the first time today, Eliza. I was trying to explain to her very quickly what I'm doing with Birth of a Brand, and the more I thought about it, is in the middle of the birth process, not the easiest time to really figure out how to explain what you're doing. So I said the best way to show you is just, come, be with the tribe, see what we're about, and, sooner or later we'll get it all explained and prettied up. But in the middle of birthing, it might just get a little messy. So anyway, speaking of mess, what I have on screen today is how to rebrand your social media accounts. I've actually never done this before. I've started new accounts, but I've never had to, rebrand. So this is a little bit new for me. I've helped clients before too, consolidate their various efforts. I mean, just one example is the Porter County Boys and Girls Club, the county where I live here in Indiana. They had originally started out on Facebook with a different Facebook page for each of their various, I think they've got 5 different clubs, and they wanted to condense them all into one. They were just tempted to just, shut them down and say, hey, everybody, here's the new page. Some of their individual sites had, over 1,000 fans, so I didn't really think that was a good idea. I coached them through, how we could maybe incentivize people, do a little contest. They actually got a sponsor that, they're a nonprofit too, so it's a little bit of a different deal. But they actually found a sponsor that was willing to donate, I think, $5 to the Boys and Girls Club for every new like, that migrated over during a particular week or two. So, there are all kinds of different ways that you can put some strategy behind it, make it fun. And frankly, I'm in the trenches right now, haven't been able to, quite think about the fun, but you guys are making it fun, quite honestly. I just want to show you a little bit of what happened since yesterday. Just you liking cothrive.org, sharing things on Facebook, RSVPing for next week's event, just different things like that. You generated all kinds of what I'm going to call social capital. That's what they call it here on the Nation Builder site. And I really want to give a big shout out, big thank you to Christine, to Doka, Deborah, Kobe, Charlotte, and Michelle. You guys have really gotten up on the board here very quickly. Christine's the current leader with 71 points in social capital. That's what SC stands for. So we're going to do something fun with that. I don't have all the prizes announced yet, but you're my tribe. You're helping me out with the soft launch, so I really appreciate your support. It's not quite ready for public, consumption, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, Doka, you were great. You got somebody registered, I think because you shared on Facebook, somebody else that saw that signed up for the webinar. And I just want to show you, now Doka, this started a conversation between she and I yesterday. She said, I noticed you had so many different unread emails in your email. It was a little terrifying for her. She's kind of a time management specialist. And what came out of that is she's going to do a series for us here quickly on video, email management. But what I want to show you is Charlotte says she's got 15,000. Yeah, I actually probably would have more than that if I hadn't gotten rid of some. I probably need to turn off some of the Nation Builder account alerts, because this is what happened. This is what you beautiful tribe members did yesterday within an hour of wrapping up. Look at all these different posts. It was, people RSVPing, sharing on Facebook. So these were all the various things that accumulated social capital points for you. So keep up the great work. Let's get competitive. I'll have prizes figured out by tomorrow, our last day. But really, really appreciate your enthusiasm and your help with crowdsourcing this launch. I'm not sure when exactly the hard launch or the public launch will be, but I think the soft launch is going pretty well. Want to just give you some updates as to where I am in the rebranding. This is a good article, by the way. I'm not sure that this will come up for anybody else. If you're just starting a site, certainly it's a lot easier just to do this once and not have to do it again. But if you find yourself in this position, let me go ahead and just type it in. All right. All right. For some reason, it's not seeming to let me type today, so I'll come back to that. Anyway, not a real big deal. You can find it if you just Google rebranding your social media accounts. This one is moz.com. So they rebranded in May 2013, and I thought they had some pretty good, just step-by-step examples. They recommended, number one, planning it early, reserving the names that you want, and that certainly is a good idea. It's probably a good idea to check that out actually at the time when you're making your domain decision, just to kind of figure out what is the corresponding social media account going to be. And I think I mentioned to you yesterday or in one of the previous days, there had been a software company with the name of CoThrive, and so I've been working through legal channels to get that trademarked. The trademark had expired, so I think I may be able to get their previous social channels released from Twitter and Facebook, but that's going to take a little doing. It's definitely not something I've encountered before, but I'm proceeding with what I've got. So because we just confirmed the logo examples yesterday, I just started putting these things together on each of the social sites. I need to get the real artwork from Scott. This was just kind of a PDF attachment, and I did screen capture, so that's why it's a little jagged edge. It's a little pixelated. Not great, but I was anxious. I wanted to kind of, wallpaper the nursery, if you will. So again, having some kind of a square icon is, I think, a really good idea. Let me get into Twitter here. Here we go. I don't know that I like this caduceus kind of symbol just in and of itself. He also did a kind of a stacked CoThrive for me. And I may go back in and do that later. This might be a little painful for you to watch. Anyway, I did pick a squarish icon to put in the profile area. I chose a banner image. I just chose something kind of clean and white for the background. These are all, again, controlled in the design area. You can choose a background image. You can choose your theme color. If you know the coordinating colors, which you can look up on a color wheel, there are many, many different places you can find that online. You don't have to just choose from among those defaults that are offered here on Twitter. Then you just hit Save Changes, and it's a little lonely. I haven't launched a Twitter account in a while, so I'm tweeting with CoThrive at WeCoThrive because CoThrive was already taken. Again, I'll be working on releasing that, and it should be fairly transparent. If you like me or follow me at WeCoThrive on Twitter, once I hopefully get that other one released, I'll just rename it and rebrand. So I won't lose followers. If you want to figure out why that is, if that ever comes up for you, they did a really nice job of explaining that in the moz.com article. I had to kind of even think it through. What they were saying is just go ahead and get one account that's kind of a gibberish account or a placeholder, and Twitter is one of the few sites that actually makes it very easy to rename your account. So whenever you're able to release the other one that you really want, you can just kind of, you know what, you're probably not going to have to do it. If you want to do it, go and read this article. That's all I'm going to say about that. So that's Twitter. That's happening. Twitter has now been connected to the CoThrive site, so that'll be working. Facebook is a little bit more of a sticky wicket. How do I change my page's name? I really don't want to continue as my social media coach. I use that primarily just working with one-on-one clients, and that doesn't really seem to be something I have to talk about on Facebook. It's more private stuff. So CoThrive is what I want to do. I think that I would remain in integrity to just rebrand that page. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And Facebook's own help center gives you pretty good instructions on how to do it. This wouldn't be an issue, by the way, if I had fewer than 200 likes. I guess good news, bad news is I have more than that. So if you've got more than 200 people that like your page, number one, you have to be an admin to submit the request to change your page's name. I haven't done this yet. I was going to maybe do this live. You go to your Facebook's page. Oh, I know what kind of held me up. When you go here and you follow these instructions on how to change the name, what this doesn't allow you to do is actually change the URL name. Okay, so what I mean by URL name, again, is what shows up in the address bar. I currently have a vanity URL, facebook.com/my-social-media-coach. To find out if your vanity name that you want is available, you go to facebook.com/username. And again, if you have over a certain number of, oh no, I think they've changed it. So you can request to change your page name one time. So it's kind of like which comes first, the chicken or the egg. If I find out that I can't change my page name, then I don't know that I want to use, CoThrive or whatever the closest derivation I can get to rename the existing page My Social Media Coach. So I haven't pulled the trigger on that. I've really got to kind of think it through. I think I would, I'm going to request the page name change first, and then only if that is successful, I'll just have to kind of roll the dice and see what I can do to get the right Facebook web address. So I got to say, it's not for the faint of heart. So I can see why people might value having a, let's say, a brand midwife. I'm kind of doing my own birth here, and it's a little crazy. But if you find yourself in this predicament, I am still available for one-on-one coaching. It's just not, the primary thing I'm going to be doing with CoThrive. So again, what you do if you want to change the name of your page is go over here to the About section. You click on Edit, and you need to request a change with Facebook. So they tell you that they're unable to support Facebook web address changes with this request. So basically you have to say that you understand that, and I'm going to say, okay, it's a business or company. Things that belong in the About. Okay, probably still need to change that up. I haven't changed it over to CoThrive yet, so I'm not going to do that here during our class. I'll do that afterwards. But this is what I'll do probably immediately following today, is say yes. After I've changed it up, I would still like to change my page name, send, and then I'll just have to wait. I don't think Facebook's tech support is notoriously great, unfortunately. I guess you get what you pay for. It's free, so that's nice, but it's a little bit of a black hole, honestly. There's not a phone that you can call and renegotiate. So my other option would be just simply to start a new page and try to recruit people over that are fans of the existing page. That's it. So that one's a little bit in limbo. What I did do on LinkedIn, I went ahead and okay, now this is unfortunate. This is kind of an override that LinkedIn does that I don't appreciate. I had crafted a professional headline here, and the professional headline, once again, for those of you who might not have attended a past LinkedIn workshop, is what many consider to be the job title. It's what shows up just below your name. And because the default is for LinkedIn just to grab whatever you've put in your last experience update, they wiped out everything else that I had. So what I had done before was something like CEO, Chief Enlightenment Officer. Let's see. I put these little up and down lines in between. Founder, CoThrive, let's just say CoThrive founder, CoThrive community founder. I am adding the word community right now just because there is that software company that I'm kind of trying to distance myself from. And then, social media strategy is definitely still what I do. It's kind of how I do what I do. I'm trying to remember this from memory. Author, podcast host, let's just go with that. Okay, but use the space judiciously. You've got like 2.5 lines roughly that you can fill, and most people don't do that very intentionally. And this is really important real estate with your LinkedIn profile, because when somebody looks you up or when you post online, they're going to see your picture, your name, and then just this little snippet next to every single thing that you write, or every time your name comes up in search results. So if you just put CoThrive Community Founder, that really doesn't give them a great idea of everything else that I do. So I like that to just be well-rounded. And let's see. Okay, let's go down here. So I did add experience, and I think again, Charlotte, you're trying to give me some tips. I really think that it just pulls from your experience, the latest experience that you put in here, and I said this was, something I began February 2015. Most normal people probably just have one job at a time, and then they go on and do something else. I just keep adding things, so it just replaced everything else that I did. So I wrote some text, hopefully to help people understand a little bit about what it is that I'm doing. I'm sure this could still be a bit better. My goal is soon to have a short video, intro video that's just a clip that explains what it is that I do. I can go ahead and link it currently, and I'll do that now. Okay, I'll do that. And the other thing that I did was I changed my contact info. There are 3 different areas here under websites in contact info, and I previously had my social media coach page, and I really want to give CoThrive the lion's share of the attention. So I went ahead and put in CoThrive Community. Again, this is something that I really recommend. I think this is much more user-friendly rather than just choosing the defaults that LinkedIn suggests, like company, website, blog, RSS feed. Just say what the name of it is. So if it's CoThrive Community, great, go ahead, say that. I put here training videos. So this is my YouTube videos that I've been producing these last 5 weeks. And I do have this set up to auto-subscribe somebody. If you don't want to, there's a way you can kind of click off of it, but I do want it to be a little sticky. I want people to subscribe. And then I'm keeping my personal blog. So you get Twitter up here separately. And let's just see, I think, let me get off of that. Stay on this page. Okay. I believe that you can add multiple Twitter. I know I've seen that. I haven't actually utilized that. Okay. I'm going to have to investigate that separately. Okay. Let's see. So Anne-Marie has a question. Could you tweet as CoThrive Community instead of CoThrive? You get, I think it's 15 characters for your Twitter handle, and I'm not even sure how many would that be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that's going to be more than 15. So that would be a little long. So instead I just said, we CoThrive, trying to kind of make it an active, active statement. But I really am going to try to get the other CoThrive released, and I think I can probably do that once I have the trademark, in my hot little hands. If I can show that, they're basically like a goose egg account. They haven't done anything with it for 5 years. I don't think I'm going to really get a big fight. So anyway, we'll see about that. But for right now, we CoThrive. That's what I'm doing with that. I also am starting a LinkedIn page. So if you don't have a company page on LinkedIn, that's definitely a really good thing to do. It's just another way you can kind of tell people what you're about. To get there, what you do is sign into LinkedIn, go to your home page. This is not the most completely intuitive thing you could ever imagine, but you go up to interest, click on companies, and over here on the right hand side, create a company page. You just go ahead and click create, and it'll kind of guide you through what you're doing. You need to say that you are an official representative of the company, and so I'm in the middle of just confirming that status now. So that's about as far as I got with the LinkedIn page. The other thing that I did was I went ahead and set up a email signature, okay? And I went ahead and also made Kathy@cothrive.org my default email that I'll send from. So I just kind of had a little fun with the sign-off name, yours in co-creation. I just kind of want the language to really, echo what I'm going to be doing. My name, Chief Enlightenment Officer plus CoThrive founder. By growing and supporting one another, we thrive. That's our little tagline that we came up with. CoThrive, there's a link to the site. And then, what is CoThrive? This is one little snippet that I came up with for the website that creates what's kind of called like an auto tweet or an auto Facebook update. So as people RSVP or they take certain actions, they can just automatically, tweet whatever I've written. So anyway, what is CoThrive? It's an online intentional community based on permaculture principles, online group learning, virtual co-working, and new media makerspace for innovators and co-creators. And honestly, that doesn't flow trippingly off the tongue, but I'm trying to kind of get what is that right little nugget that explains what it is I do. That probably will change as I kind of work with it, or as I get feedback from those of you in my tribe and involved with the soft launch. So I appreciate feedback on it. And then I've described how to do a social icons in your signature in the past, so I'm not going to get totally into that again. Basically, you just want to go find a set of social icons that you like, and for me, I use Gmail. So for Gmail, I'll just go through it very quickly. You go up to settings, and you have to kind of be on the, you have to already have your new email account approved, prove that you are that person who can post on behalf of that email. And then you can just select the email that you want to create the signature for. I have quite a few that I own. So once I pick the one that I want to use, you paste these icons, and then we've gone through hyperlinking quite a number of times too. So you just highlight the icon that you want to link to your appropriate new channel, click the chain link icon, and connect it to that right landing page. Okay, so anyway, that's where I am with that. Deb Landry yesterday said, you really need to work on your search engine optimization. It's very confusing right now, and I understand that. Again, it's a soft launch, so everything hasn't quite been done to make it, as easy to find as it could be. And actually, I saw Deb's name just pop up on screen, so hopefully she'll get to hear this. Once you're doing your Google Plus page, I did go ahead and set up a Google Plus page, and I'm setting up the YouTube channel as well. Google kind of makes it pretty easy. I can't remember where that prompt came, but right after I set up my Google Plus page, it basically said, why not let the world know where you are? Here it is. Okay, if you link the website, you do link website. All right, I already did it, so I think the prompt went away. But basically, when you say link website, it gives you a little snippet of code that you can paste into the HTML on your home page, and then it takes a couple days or even weeks to index with Google. But what it allows your page to do is to show up on the right-hand search results when somebody types into Google, your name. So I don't know that that's going to happen just yet. Why don't we give it a shot and see? I just did that this morning, so I'd be shocked if that was already indexed by Google, but they are fast. So, I tend to type in my search results, or excuse me, the site that I want to find. I just type it right into the address bar if I know the address. But I know some people don't do that. They just like to Google, the site. Okay, so it is showing up at least here. That's good. And yeah, the first 4 are me. The next couple are not. So these are the old software companies. That's really going to be kind of interesting. I've never had a turf wars like that before, but I did enter into it with eyes open. I knew I had to kind of get that trademark and move it on over. But again, I think because they haven't been actively using it for almost 5 years, it's not going to be awfully difficult. Okay, Michelle, tell me what you mean by that. Show searching by your name. See if, let me know what you mean. Yeah, Charlotte said they only have 11 likes on Facebook, so I think I can probably nab that. Let's see, Michelle, would you be open for me unmuting you? Because I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, will CoThrive show up if searched by your name? Do you mean Kathy Sipple, my name? Okay, let's give it a go. I've done a lot, and I do a lot, like every day, every week, so, it might, but yeah, this is the craziest thing. I haven't been a realtor since 2008, and I swear, this is like the stickiest website. I don't want this on page 1. I've tried to get rid of it, and I still keep showing up on this old index site. But I guess, because I updated my LinkedIn, if you went to LinkedIn, that's going to only be 1 click away. I really need to kind of firm things up, put something about it on my personal site. I think what I really need to do in the meantime, until it shows up as a top result, is just to optimize each of these other digital on-ramps. There's nothing I can do, unfortunately, to access this house hunting online to get rid of it. I've tried. But again, let's just go through what this would look like. On LinkedIn, somebody sees, oh, what's Kathy up to? Okay, CoThrive. I could add something about it on my summary. They could see it here. They would see it on my, on my experience. They would see it on my contact. I can tweet about it. I can kind of do all the things that for right now are coming up ahead of CoThrive. And since I've been doing My Social Media Coach and 219 Green Connect for much longer, I'm probably going to get more, ink or more links up for those things rather than CoThrive. But I can definitely, I can give them mentions on all of my existing channels and try to optimize that. Great questions, though. So Deb Landry, I saw that you arrived, and I'm not sure if you heard me say that I took your advice, and it's not like I wasn't going to get around to doing search engine optimization, but it just wasn't quite quite the top thing yet. Charlotte says I'm famous. I don't know about that, but I have a lot of pages of mentions, that's for sure, which, again, it's good and bad. If I don't look that focused, then it can be a little tricky. But I am trying to eventually move everything over to CoThrive because that's what I want to do. Oh, you guys are too kind. Lisa said I'm a rock star. You're funny. Okay, but Deb Landry, I want you to know that I did add the Google Plus snippet here on the home page. That's a little bit of code that Google generates for you and gives you instructions for that you can forward to your webmaster if the webmaster is not you, or just tells you how you can directly insert it into your page. And so basically you have to have HTML access to get to it. For me, that would be under, let's see, I just did that this morning. Can I remember what I did? Yeah, okay, so you go into content. There's kind of the what you see is what you get tab, and then in a lot of different either websites or email, HTML email generators, there's a little tab where you can switch over to CHTML code. So for those of us that don't work with code all the time, that can feel a little intimidating, but I just go there when I need to plug in code and then get the heck out promptly. I don't like to work on this tab because it's not my native language, But basically, I just pasted this little snippet of code that Google generated for me. You paste it up here. It's more or less it's not invisible. There's a little link here that goes to your Google+. I'm fine with that. And for the benefit of being indexed by Google more easily and showing up on the right-hand side of search results, for me that's well worth it. So anyway, taking steps. Any questions? Let me just pause for a second because I know we're covering just a lot of what might seem to be random things, but it is birth of a brand. I want to kind of show you my thought process, the steps that I'm taking, but also address any questions that you may have, because I know there's at least a couple of you that are, as we speak, buying domain names in various stages of birthing your own brand. So let's see. Okay, Charlotte, did you get that question answered? I think I showed where I pasted that. It's just at the very top of my home page. So when I go to HTML, it's this code right up here at the very top of the page is that code that generates the Google Plus underlined. So I already did paste it. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Okay, and Leah's asking, can I repeat questions so we know what I'm talking about? Yes, I'm sorry about that. Charlotte just asked where am I going to paste that code, and I already did paste the code. So I've kind of talked through that one already. Does anybody want me to go through that again? I think that one's probably good. Okay, Deb's asking, how hard was it to transfer things into Nation Builder? Could you seamlessly transfer? Nation Builder, again, I did talk about this on a previous day, but since we've got some people that are here not necessarily every single day, I'll go ahead and repeat. Nation Builder is a membership site, okay? So membership sites are not going to really be appropriate for, everybody out there. In fact, it's probably not going to be that appropriate for most people. Unless you're really trying to build, membership, you're selling memberships, it's probably not something that you need. So no, I wouldn't say that it's seamlessly transferred at all. I had to create every page new. But, that being said, it wasn't all that difficult to create the pages. I found it very, very beneficial. Knowing what I know about your business, Deb is an artist down in Georgia. She does public art. She does fine art. I don't immediately see an application for you, so I don't think that's anything that you would need to worry about. Any other questions? I know somebody just bought a domain or two. Again, what I would do if I was doing this without trying to consolidate brands is I would research the social media names to find out if they're available when I was making that decision about the domain. All right, and Charlotte is saying, will your site be a possible locus for all of our sites? Great question. Yeah, what I've been thinking is that, once we have a critical mass of members, then a membership directory would certainly be a very easy benefit that I could offer. So yes, that would certainly be a possibility, and I would love to do that. I'm looking into forum plugins as well. Nation Builder, I was kind of surprised that they don't have a native forum function, which, being a community-minded site, I know a lot of people who are using the software have requested that feature, and so far they haven't done that. Okay, so Deb said she was thinking that Engaging Arts would work using Nation Builder might spread the engagement. Yeah, I mean, if you have a way, if you have a need for people to, really take your message and put it out there, there are other ways you can do it besides Nation Builder. But for anybody who's a little bit curious about it, I do want to just show you how amazing they make it. Let's take a look at the people. I actually got rid of my CRM program yesterday, which stands for Customer Relationship Management Program, that I have had for 5+ years. It's basically like a database. It keeps track of, information, conversations that you've had with people, and I really think that the functionality of Nation Builder is easier, it's more intuitive, and if I don't have to go in and out of one more site, then that would be great. So I can assign follow-ups either for myself, manually, if I have members that have volunteered, and I want to thank you. I think there are about 4 or 5 of you that I need to follow up with who have volunteered to do various things. I really appreciate that. I can have an autoresponder that says when somebody volunteers, send this to them. When somebody signs up for a workshop, do this. So, frankly, again, right now it's just me and I'm in the middle of the soft launch, so it's not working exactly, as perhaps it should. And I do appreciate the feedback. If you're having an experience with an autoresponder or lacking an autoresponder that you feel, you should have heard from me, give me a nudge. It's probably something I need to tweak. So let's see. Charlotte says, so we each create our individual sites, brands, etc. Then you have to add some sort of vetting process to be added to your site as a member, collaborator, someone who shares your philosophy and mission. Yeah, and I was actually thinking maybe I could use a board of directors to help me with that process. It is kind of hard to say where do co-creators and creatives, where does that end? What is the commonality? I've got an idea of who I want to include, and I've said it before. It's innovators, it's artists, life coaches, local food people. It's really pretty broad. Green companies, authors, pretty much everybody that's on this call probably. I'm probably leaving out some kind of category. But yeah, I think having a team of people that could help me evaluate that and not having it be all me would be great. So I think I'll add that volunteer category or just reach out to some of you who have already volunteered to see if that's of interest. Okay, good. So any other questions before I move on? I gotta say, there still feels like there is a lot to do, but it's getting there. Kind of being accountable to you and knowing that I'm going to tell you what I did the day before and how much closer I am to launching is, it's definitely helpful in getting me focused and making the to-dos actually get done instead of just staring at a long to-do list. All right. So what I would really appreciate, if you have not already done so, is RSVPing for next week's event, if that's something that you are interested in going to. Again, you can get there by going to cothrive.org, clicking on the calendar tab, and explorations and website building is what I'm going to be doing next week. So if you haven't already built a website or you need a website or just want a review of other website options that are out there, we're going to basically be going through a platform every single day, and some days maybe even more than one because some of them are just that simple. So we've got 15 people signed up, and there were none signed up yesterday, just a little over 24 hours ago. So that was due to your help. I really appreciate that. If that's of interest to you, it's pretty easy to RSVP now. And once you do RSVP, please share it when prompted. That would be a really, really cool thing. And Deb is asking, can you make the calendar events have an add to calendar? I think, Deb, that you're asking me, can visitors add their own events? Is that what you're asking? And if that is the question, yes. If you scroll down a little bit, go down here to where it says community submitted events, and you can kind of watch how that works if you need a little instructional video. And then you can just click host your own event if you're ready to post something. So yeah, community members can definitely do that. Okay, Deb, what do you mean then if that wasn't it? Can you please explain that a little bit in more detail, because I'm not understanding the question. Okay, I'll come back to that. Google Calendar. All right, you guys, I'm not getting your like 2-word questions for some reason, like Google Calendar. Can you explain what you mean by that, Charlotte? Okay, Deb wants to be able to see an event and click a button and have it add to your personal calendar. Okay, I gotcha. So that's the same thing I believe that Charlotte's asking, to put it on our calendars. Great, okay. Good question, good ask, I like that. let's give it a try. I haven't kind of played in my own sandbox that much. I'm so busy creating the sandbox. Let's give it a try and see. Did you guys get that opportunity when you tried it yesterday? I'm curious. No. All right. Okay, so that might be something that I'll have to look into. You know what? Let me make a punch list of things still to do. I honestly don't know yet. Sync with calendar. All right. Good. Thank you. This is awesome, awesome feedback. I really appreciate it. And again, you know, right now I've got this Facebook connected to 219 Green Connect. That's really not optimal. It will be CoThrive as soon as I can get the CoThrive brand created on Facebook. And I see that it hasn't updated for Twitter yet. I did make that change this morning. So it's kind of coming in waves, honestly. I think doing a soft launch is what I would recommend. Trying to get it all exactly perfect and public facing in a very short time is a little bit, you know, just a little bit challenging, especially when you've got normal life to attend to and, you know, other things. But having a team of people that are helping me do this, I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it and how valuable this is. So thanks. Deb is saying, this is a feature that I hate about Facebook events. I do want to just go back to, and I think, Deb, you're talking about it not syncing to your personal calendar. I believe that's what you're referring to. I did show everybody who was on the call last week a feature that is pretty cool, and it might solve your problems if you're the organizer and you want to, you know, to get the same thing working for you. I am looking at biting the bullet and buying this software. Excuse me, subscribing to the software. It's you know, monthly recurring fee, but I think that it would save me so much time and would add so much value to users that it's worth the $20 or whatever, you know, it is that the investment requires at my level. It's called Zapier.com, Zapier.com. And the idea here is that it basically allows you to connect different platforms where you know, where you have activity, okay? So just as an example, I was using Eventbrite several weeks ago before I had the Nation Builder site, and I also have GoToWebinar. I'm changing so many variables right now, it's almost like just crazy to figure out which thing I can change at a time. But let me just show you the app directory of what's supported here on Zapier. What Zapier, or Zapier, however you kind of say it, lets you do is basically set up when this event happens, automatically update this other event, okay? So what I was able to do was to say when somebody signs up on Eventbrite, which normally does not have a handshake relationship with GoToWebinar, there was no way to automate that. Using Zapier, So I was able to say, send them the, you know, responder that says, here's your link, you know, send them the thing that says, you know, sync this with your Google Calendar or whatever calendar that you use. So I think that this might be a workaround that I could do. I just, you know, probably have to bite the bullet and make this investment. So I feel like I'm always hat in hand saying, like, here's the investment, but it is a little tough to keep spending if I don't, you know, have members or I'm not getting feedback that, yes, this is something that, you know, would be of value. And frankly, I guess I'm going to listen to probably everybody's feedback, but the people who are paying members, I'm going to listen to you a little bit more because you're actually making my investment in these different things, you know, that much more possible. So Facebook I do see here as something that can be integrated with GoToWebinar, Deb. And like I use FreshBooks for my accounting. I use PayPal, so it really just gives you a lot of functionality. And, you know, for $20 a month, I just think, what would I need to pay an administrative assistant to do all of those things? If you're doing events very frequently, it's probably well worth it. So anyway, hopefully that helps you. I'm trying to kind of throw out tips that will be generally useful, not just about my brand. So Charlotte is saying, helping you is helping me get the skills, being able to tweet, which I have never done. So that's awesome. That's exactly why I'm doing this in a public way, is not to just look totally disorganized, but to show you my organization process for something that is, kind of a little messy sometimes, right? And so, I've gotten feedback that it would be helpful to have the videos be a little bit more manageable, to be able to find stuff within. Again, that's all in my plan that I'd love to do once we get to a critical mass and I can kind of afford to slice and dice those videos and make them more accessible. Right now, I know it's a big chunk. It's a big commitment to be here for an hour or to pour through hours of video that we're creating. Anybody want to say anything? Any plans that you've got? Any things that we can look at to kind of wrap up tomorrow? I do want to talk about the affiliate program tomorrow. I want to talk about the social capital program and just, again, engagement opportunities, ways that I think that you can be involved. I've had a couple people, again, step up and say they would like to teach a class. I am going to be hosting a podcast that's branded under CoThrive. Right now I've got a 219 Green Connect podcast, which is only green and local to Northwest Indiana, and I've got a My Social Media Coach podcast, and it's my aim to combine both of those. So I'd love to interview people that can talk about a project that, relates to CoThrive, or, somebody that wants to actually host a podcast. I kind of foresee this as being new media training school. So by you creating content under the CoThrive brand, it gives you practice creating content, just to see, is this something that I'm comfortable with? Is this something I'd like to do? Is this something that I want to go ahead and create my own channel before you make that commitment? So I almost see it as like a new media makerspace. I know at least a couple people on the call have been involved with makerspaces. That program is basically where, one entity invests in the technology or invest in the tools, and then community members, can share. So, yeah, that's okay. Deb is exactly on that same page, so that's great, wonderful. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. So I can't believe it, but I might actually be done a little bit early today. There's plenty to do. It's not that I'm done, but I just don't think it's going to be that much value for you to watch me do all the tasks at this time. So Charlotte says that's fine. Yeah, we don't need to fill time just to fill it. But again, just to recap, I'm starting the affiliate program that hopefully will be ready for tomorrow. Christine's asking, was that makerspace that I just described, Christine? Is that what you're asking? Makerspace is where an entity basically invests in tools. Let me see if I can just find an example of a makerspace online. Oh, the other thing I did too was I brought in the social media accounts that I've created into Hootsuite. Hootsuite, again, is what I use for scheduling. So yeah, let me just see if I can find Makerspace here online. Sometimes they're also called Hackerspace. So what is a makerspace? They're kind of popping up, around the country, around the world. It's, usually a brick and mortar place where people go and, can use tools. This one doesn't have a lot of pictures, not that exciting. Yeah, but basically, they might invest in like a 3D printer if it's a brick and mortar place where you can go. And or maybe they have welding equipment, or they've got stuff that would be, cost prohibitive for somebody to do on their own. But okay, here's a makerspace.com directory. So this actually tells, where they are around the country. So, I wouldn't say it's a one-size-fits-all, but it's basically things that are a little, hard to do on your own. So Christina's asking like a co-op incubator. Yeah, I'm not sure if I totally know what a co-op incubator is. Is that, Christine, are you talking about something like the Hammond Innovation Center, like a small business incubator? It's like sometimes you have to know, okay. Gosh, I might have to unmic some of you if that would be okay. Christine, can I unmic you? Christine, do you mind if I unmic you? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm just thinking it's a little
I was
hard.
typing up and there was some commotion behind me. So I'm like, no, I'm like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just I'm trying to keep up with like multiple strings of questions, and it's like it's hard to kind of get one topic going. But so yeah, I mean, what can you describe for me what is a co-op incubator? Because that's a term I'm not real familiar with.
Oh, I had gone to this place downtown, and I don't really remember the address, but let's just say it's like 3120 or something like that by the Merchandise Mart. And then they just have a bunch of different, it's kind of like the incubator in Hammond, but they have more of like think tank areas where these, all these entrepreneurs go and use the space, but yet they have these think tanks there where they kind of get together and be able to share, brain resources with each other.
Okay, yeah, I think I might know some people who belong to that one. I'm not sure, but where you're saying that space sounds about right. Just doing a quick look online, though, I'm finding like co-working space is a little different than makerspace. There's a lot of overlap, basically, but I'd say co-working is probably more people that have laptops and they're sharing information more than actually having to use tools. Like I think of a makerspace as actually building something. And the reason that I think CoThrive is kind of playing in both of those areas is that what we make generally is going to be new media. It's going to be Twitter accounts, it's going to be blog posts, it's going to be podcasts, it's going to be websites, things like that. So I see elements of makerspace and co-working. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to say, Christine, while I've got you here?
Oh, no, I just really appreciate what you're doing because we're building a community as well, and a lot of these tools I am unfamiliar with, and it's all uncharted territory. And so for there to be a forum for some of us to come together and be able to share, what we've tried and what what is true is going to be very beneficial and save people just hours and hours and hours of time.
Good, good. And if anybody needs to explain what is CoThrive, again, I've got it in several different places, and the Christine Lee Watson says to say hello for him. So I love it.
Hey, Lee, sorry you were
there. Yeah, he's here too. So I have put in the About section on cothrive.org, kind of what my plan is to be manifesting here. Obviously, all of these things aren't yet happening. But the last bullet point is best practices. So I kind of see this as an experiment in some ways that, we want to invite experts to speak to our members about best practices. We're going to document and share what we learn here via articles, interviews, other sharing, that kind of thing. A little bit of mastermind opportunities, all kinds of different things. And it's, it's obviously not all the way there yet, but it's getting there. So Christine, I'll be real interested to see how this jives with your, fabulous over 50 crowd, because you've got a pretty big following there, and I think there will be, real opportunities to cross-pollinate. So good.
That's great.
Good, thank you. Okay, so if anybody else has questions, I'm more than happy to stick around, but that's honestly all I have for you today. Usually I'm breathless trying to wrap up by the end of the hour, but I appreciate it. And Anne-Marie says that she just posted about my series on Facebook and linked to my website, and the visual aspect does not come out right, wondering why and what I can do about it. Okay, let's go ahead and see what that looks like. Anne-Marie, did you share that on your personal Facebook page? I can give it a look and see. I did update one of the graphics just today. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, it's almost like the graphic is just too big for the space. Okay. All right. I think that's something I can probably change. I just need to dive in and find out what link that is to fix. I greatly appreciate that. Thanks for the feedback. It's probably easy to fix. It's just, if you don't know because you're not looking at it, then I wouldn't know to do. Great. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your feedback and for the share. So again, I'm going to have some contest giveaways to announce tomorrow. I'm going to make it fun. I've definitely got some new books coming. I should have those by Monday. That's the latest book that I co-wrote, co-authored, and it hit Amazon #1. So that can certainly be a giveaway. I've got all different kinds of things. And if you're somebody also that doesn't necessarily have the financial resources to support the site financially, but you've got something that could work as a giveaway, let me know that too. I mean, that's another way that we can co-create. You can get your brand out there, kind of get known for what you do, is by sponsoring, offering sponsorships either of your service or of your product. That could be kind of fun. So what do entrepreneurs need, or what would people, on this call enjoy? You could help me by donating prizes that I can give away. Again, always looking for co-creating strategies and win-win situations for both of us. So anyway, again, that's all I've got. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. Thanks so much, everybody, for showing up, and we'll be wrapping up tomorrow. Again, next week we'll be diving into website design. And if you have requests or you have ideas for programs you'd like to co-create, let me know. I know a lot of really cool people. I've got a lot of good ideas, I think, too, that we can keep creating programming, but I really would like to open it up to members. All right, thanks. Have a great day.